record on this computer. I'm going to count down from 5 for us to get started. Are you ready?
Yes.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Dzień dobry, Państwo. I am Dr. Michelle S. Pawlowski, and I welcome you from the heartland of America, Chicago, Illinois, and from the very chilly fields of Wisconsin, and here where I am from the sunny and warm state of Florida. And it's not far from the president's home in Mar-a-Lago. We have a very special program for you today on WPNA Radio 1490. I want to say hello to all of our friends with the Polish National Alliance and the Polish American Congress. We're glad that you are with us today, and all the other voters, especially all of you American voters who are not necessarily Polish Americans, but who have the opportunity to vote. Our program is being picked up by Polish radio stations throughout the United States, and it is live streamed on the internet. We now have a new YouTube channel where you will have the opportunity to view our entire broadcast and see our beautiful guests. Please visit YouTube under the heading Polish Americans for Trump 2020 Show. Our very special guest today, audience, is a close friend of President Trump. Her picture with the president is on the Trump Club of St. Johns County brochure. She single-handedly helped organize one of the most outstanding great Trump clubs in the country, in my opinion, and nurtured the development of other Trump clubs across the country. She is a true patriot who helped get Donald J. Trump elected president in 2016. She worked tirelessly then, and she is working tirelessly now. We have a lot of gratitude for her efforts, and I know the president appreciates what she is doing. But first, let me tell you a little bit about her background. She has served as public relations manager, marketing director, media broker consultant, senior vice president of operations and chief marketing officer, franchise owner, media consultant, worked in Connecticut, New York, Florida, and San Francisco. And her family has a long history in communications and the broadcast medium. She is my friend, an outstanding citizen in St. Johns County and St. Augustine. She just finished a record-breaking flotilla for President Trump in St. Johns County. And I would now like to introduce you to Diane Scherff so she can tell us about the Trump Club and what she has done with the flotilla and everything else that she's engaged in with this campaign. Diane, you have the floor.
Thank you, Michelle. Dr. Michelle, you are incredible. That was a wonderful introduction for me. Thank you. I need to take you everywhere. Hello, everyone. I'm so blessed and honored to be here with Dr. Michelle and all of you. The Polish Coalition for President Trump 2020 is such a valuable group and organization that Dr. Michelle is a part of. And again, I'm honored to be here. I'll share a little bit about the Trump Club and why I started this organization. It's basically because I was frustrated with the rhinos in the Republican Party, if you will. Back in 2015, I joined the REC, Republican Executive Committee in St. Johns County, and quickly moved up and became vice chair. I did a lot of fundraising with Governor Ron DeSantis, who was Congressman Ron DeSantis at the time, even had Senator Ted Cruz. We raised a lot of money. But I found it interesting when even I started in at the REC before the primary in August, people were really touting Trump would not win the primary. People were saying that it was Ted Cruz and Marco Rubio, but I didn't. And I was the outsider in the REC for saying that President Trump was going to be the nominee and that he was going to win. And why did I know that? Why did I say that? It was a little crazy. I knew it. I knew it in my heart. And it's funny because I lived in New York and I met him years ago. You probably don't even know this, Dr. Michelle. I met him years ago when I was newly single and went to his birthday party at the boat house in Manhattan. And I did not know him, but he walked up to me and he had girls all around him. He was in between marriages and he looked me up and down twice and said, "Well, hello there." And I put my fingers right here and I said, Mr. Trump, right up here, buddy. And I will never forget that moment. Since then, I had followed him. I was so impressed when he would talk about all that he talked about what was wrong with our country, especially when Obama took over and started the destruction on the path to destruction. And I was right there with him, but I was running companies, raising my kids. I didn't have time to join and get into the Republican Party and make a difference. Fast forward, I got sick and had to move up here. And as I got better, I said, wait a minute, this is the most important election coming up. We have to get President Trump in 2016. And I did. I was asked to run for the run his campaign for the county, which doesn't sound like much, but boy, guys, you work your butt off 24 hours a day. And you know what? I didn't care. I didn't care if I didn't sleep because I knew we were going to get him elected. And Dr. Michelle knows this too. The night of the election, I had a big party planned at the Armory in downtown St. Augustine. I had my red dress ready to go, but I had been making calls all afternoon. And we get the RPOF, which is a Republican Party of Florida, calling us going, "Diane, the numbers look bad. They look way too good for Hillary in South Florida. So I don't think we're going to win." And I said, darn it, maybe not that word. We are going to win. And I just kept calling and kept calling. And I had 3 other people with me. We kept making calls and people were saying, "We're not going to go down to vote because Hillary already has it." I said, "No, she doesn't." We called after 7 o'clock and the polls closed on the East Coast. We started calling for the panhandle. Why? Because we needed that chunk of Florida to get their butts off the couch and get there to vote. And do you know what? We probably made hundreds of calls within that hour. And people said, "Thank you for the call. I'm going." And guess what? The numbers were huge in the panhandle. Then at 8 o'clock, and I'm still missing my party, we started making calls to Wisconsin. Wisconsin, remember? And we won Wisconsin. So the dedication of my team, it wasn't just me, it was a group of a ton of people, Dr. Michelle included, that worked effortlessly, we worked tirelessly to get President Trump elected. After that, I noticed, whoa, wait a minute. I had no idea the media, being a journalist myself, my father would roll over in his grave if he had seen what has transpired the last 4 years. We don't have a press corps. We don't have media. We don't have journalists anymore. They're an arm, a promotion propaganda group of the deep state. Sadly, that is true. So once I saw that, I went, wait a minute. So with the REC, we worked together and we decided to launch the first Trump Club. And it sounds so silly, Trump Club. To me, it's just this huge Trump organization. We have over 5,000 people now that read my emails each week that go out. Yes, I write articles. We have other people write articles. I list events all over Northeast Florida. We have a Facebook page. We have a wonderful website. And we haven't stopped since October of 2017. We have been going strong since. We haven't missed a couple of meetings we had to miss because of hurricanes. Forgive us for that. But we've just gone and we keep going. And now this election in 2020, in 1 week, is the most important election of our lives. And I know Dr. Michelle knows it, and you all who are very astute get that. But that's why we can't stop. We've been working on voter registration to close the gap between the Democrats and the Republicans in Northeast Florida. And we've done that in in several counties. We're already up in voter turnout. Voter turnout in 2016, for instance, in St. Johns County, we had an 81% voter turnout for the presidential election. That was huge. We broke all kinds of records. They had not come close to that. This time around, we're inching up so fast. We're already at a 60%. and we're only starting our second week of early voting and haven't even gotten to the election day. So this is going to be probably, I'm guessing, around a 90% voter turnout, and that's huge for us. And we see the excitement for President Trump across the country, just like we saw, thank you for coming, Dr. Michelle, to the flotilla. I mean, they're boaters for Trump, they're bikers for Trump, they're first responders for Trump, they're mothers with little babies for Trump. It's amazing, the group, but we won't talk about the suburban mothers who don't work but play tennis and eat bonbons on the couch, I guess, that they, for some reason, are convinced that Joe Biden, which is really the Harris ticket, that Kamala Harris is going to do so much better in COVID at keeping their children safe, which we know is a bunch of bullocks. So this flotilla this weekend was, I think, indicative, if you agree, Dr. Michelle, that this is the fever that we've got, and it's amped up even more than 2016.
Diane, I could not, my ears were hurting from all the horns blasting, people
Right?
screaming and yelling.
Yes.
I thought, oh my God, I saw an endless line of boats. Tell us about how you organize this and how many boats you think were included in it, because I think it was a record.
It was great. It was a record. It was higher than it was in August. This is Flotilla 2. And I had no part in actually organizing the boat parade. I jumped aboard because they asked us to gather a few people on the bridge, a few people. At some point, I must have counted over 400 on the bridge. Now, the Bridge of Lions, if you don't know St. Augustine, is just a little bridge. You've got about this much room to walk on the sidewalk. We were packed in there like sardines all the way up and over onto the other side. Then on the other side of the lane, we had people over there as well. So we must have had, by the end of the day, if you count all the people down by the Castillo Fort and that whole sidewalk looking back up at the bridge, maybe 700 or 800 people. It was huge. And what were they doing? Cheering on the boats. The boats, I was told from Ancient City, they're the ones that put this together, beautiful job, that there were about 550 to 600 boats that participated. And I know that they had bigger flotillas up in South Carolina, even in Jacksonville, to the tune of 1,000 or 1,500 boats. But this is a smaller city, and to have almost 600 boats, it was awesome. All playing music, waving flags. I get chills right now thinking about the patriotism on water. It was beautiful. And the people up on the bridge, you called it, Dr. Michelle. People kept saying to me, I had a little Japanese guy come up to me that was probably in his 70s taking pictures. And I didn't know which way he was going to go. He didn't have Trump stuff on. He grabbed me afterwards and he said, thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Thank you. God bless America. God bless Trump. That was a terrible accent, but you get the picture. I had one Biden supporter that was very nasty to me when I was walking up, because I carried a bunch of signs like I have here all over the place so that people could wave the signs. And I had one guy that had a mask on outside. Don't understand that, but that you could tell he was a Biden supporter right then. He's probably in his 30s. And he comes up and he said something about, how can you allow infidelity, you BITCH, right in my face. And I thought, and I just said, have a nice day, go Trump. You know, it's sad. It's sad the Biden supporters are ill-informed, not very bright, and they're drinking the Kool-Aid. So but it was so beautiful to see all of us, all ages, from children on up to 90-year-olds, out there cheering for their president and yelling, 4 more years. Okay, now I'll shut up. You can tell I get excited.
That was spectacular, Diane. That was absolutely spectacular. What do you feel from or what type of feedback are you getting from citizens on the ground concerning the election today? I mean, you've been working in the fields,
Mhm.
working with businessmen, people on the street, your neighbors. What feedback are you getting?
Great question. In 2016, I think that's where the term silent majority took over, was born, because that truly was the case. When I worked the polling locations in 2016, people would come up to me and I'd have the tent and signs, and I even had a caricature of Trump and they wanted their pictures taken, but they would be quiet when they were leaving the polling booth and they'd look at me and go, like, shh. They didn't want the nasty, loud Democrats in the parking lot to harass them for voting for Trump. I see that today as well. By some of my neighbors will say, I'll say, I'm going to give you, I know you're a Trump supporter. I'm going to give you a Trump sign, put it in your yard. We need to show our support. And they'll say, Diane, I don't want someone to egg my house or slip my tires in the driveway. And I'm thinking, wow, people are still terrified. Bumper stickers, of which I have many to pass around. And I try to give these out and say, show your pride, put it on your car. And they say, are you kidding me? I don't want someone to scratch with a key, scratch my paint job on my car. Somebody's going to run me off the road with that on there. So, to that point, I believe people are even more frightened after they've seen what's happened in Portland and Seattle, and the anarchy in the streets that is all bought and paid for, faux anarchy, but it's real in the fact that it's killing people, innocent people. And Antifa and Black Lives Matter is all a farce. They're ironically killing more Black people in these cities than they are white people that have passed away, killing, shooting children, Black children. It doesn't make any sense. So we've got a lot of people in our country terrified. That being said, I think they're coming out and showing their support for President Trump this election around more so than they did in 2016. I say that he wins, but not only wins, he's going to win by bigger numbers than he did in 2016, except they're going to be slanted because of all the cheating. I think if we didn't have the cheating going on from the left, he'd win by a bigger margin. But right now, the polls, forget the polls. You people reading the polls, listen to me. Take a walk around your neighborhood. Take a walk to the polls. See what people wear, a Trump shirt, and see who looks at you and says, thumbs up. We have a silent majority that is fed up and they're ready to speak their mind in the polls. So I think that's the biggest part of it. I am surprised at some of the people I know in my neighborhood that have Biden signs out, especially after they've seen what's gone on recently. We know that Hillary Clinton is the one that made up this whole Russia collusion that our president and his family and his administration had to deal with for now almost 4 years. All a made up lie. And ironically, it's the lie she made up is really about her and Joe Biden's collusion. And it's just, but I guess that's how evil works, right? They can't be creative. They got to take something that they're already doing badly and throw it on to somebody else to try to take down that person. And let's face it, they've got all the players to make it work. They've got the FBI, they had everybody, all the government agencies. Obama had everybody lined up to do this, to try to spy on to try to spy on President Trump's campaign, then try to take him down. And it continues. It continues and goes on and on. Do you think anyone cares, Dr. Michelle, about Hunter Biden and the big guy getting money from China? China, the one country that has brought it, it was all made up in the Wuhan lab, this horrific COVID virus that has caused rampant hysteria in our country. And yes, it's cost lives. It's horrific. That is terrible. But not many more than the major flus have in previous years. or H1N1. And we didn't freak out and lose jobs over it. But that's what they wanted, because that was President Trump's strongest point, besides all the amazing other things he's accomplished, is his economy and what he was able to do with this dead economy coming out of Obama's office. So how can we take him down? We're going to shoot this pandemic over, and let's sprinkle in Fauci and some of these other people from the WHO who are in cahoots with China. It all worked to their plan. Remember in the beginning, Fauci was like, don't wear face masks. Face masks are bad. Oh, wait. Wear face masks. Yes, wear face masks. Create hysteria. Now schools won't open because of it. Actually, that's not a bad idea, because what they're educating our children today could take a breather, because that is one area that is something that President Trump is working on for when he gets elected in 2020, to stop the liberal indoctrination in our schools, which is ultimately we're graduating children into being liberal adults, not
Yes,
thinking for themselves.
I am very in favor of that platform, because our education system is corrupt. But it's corrupt. Our education system today is corrupt. There has been liberalism that has been infiltrating our educational system, thanks to the higher learning provided by the universities, which are supposed to be open, free thinking, freedom of speech, which has clamped down on everything and indoctrinated the teachers that are in our system today. But I want to share a little thought with you. I personally, not everybody will agree with me, but I personally believe that years down the road, we will find out that this virus was a conscious attempt by China to turn the whole world economy around, get rid of Donald Trump. And the reason why they were willing to let it out on the open, because they felt that they could come back and be the #1 dominant enterprise system in the world. They want to control everything. Now, you are, I mean, our audience listening to you has got to be inspired. How do they get, how will they have the opportunity if they want to get your articles and also become a member of the Trump Club? Why don't you give information how they can join your website or whatever, and how they can be closely connected with you?
Oh, that would be great. Actually, I say it goes out to 5,000 people, but what I'm hearing is I get responses from New York, Chicago. I get people writing me all over that said, great article, thanks for doing this. And I'm thinking, I didn't send that to them. So when I send it out, it's being shared all over. We have a couple of ways that you can follow us. We actually do Facebook Live for our meetings. So if you go to our Facebook page, Trump Club of St. Johns County, you'll find, you can go back and watch some of our meetings that are really great, because we not only just promote and educate President Trump's agenda, we also promote candidates that are pro-Trump candidates. I've had situations where I've vetted candidates and realized halfway through, they're either a rhino or they are not interested in helping President Trump further his agenda. Guess what? They get booted out, and my recommendation goes to the one that deserves that. And guess what? Those are the people being elected. Yes, we have power that I didn't even realize, but we use it for good. And that good is to get the right people in office, not the cheating, lying, people that are after their own agenda. There's no own agenda. It's the United States of America agenda, and President Trump is at the helm. So our Trump Club Facebook page has information. You can go to the website, which we're very excited about, new and improved over the years, because remember, we've been doing this for 4 years. It's TrumpSJC.club. Sorry, I have a little dog in the background. He's a Trump fan. So TrumpSJC.club. And those two places, between those two places, you can get information and download the e-letters. leave a message and I can get back to you and make sure you're on my next e-letter. I send it out every Thursday. And my gosh, how many does that make? Every Thursday for the last almost 4 years, Michelle, that's a long time, huh? Um, so yes, we would love to have you participate, and anything we can do for your coalition. It's so important. I look at, we're at what a great day to be doing this broadcast, because we have Amy Coney Barrett, the youngest female since Justice Clarence Thomas. He was 43, I think. She's 48. What a beautiful nomination. Now, I'm Catholic, so I'm partial and I'm female, but hey, she's the right choice. And the Senate, for the first time, I give kudos to them that they were able to get it through and get it through so quickly. So now that matters. And someone said to me, why does it matter so much? To me, that's one of the most important things that President Trump has accomplished, is now getting 3 judges. Because quite honestly, I don't know Hillary Clinton Obama deep state has on Chief John Roberts, Justice Roberts. He hasn't been quite the conservative voter on the Supreme Court as of late. So we need Justice Coney Barrett on there now. And I think that's going to help us in many ways with our First and Second Amendment, et cetera. So sorry, but that's a big point to bring up.
Well, that's an important point to bring up. I agree with you. Diane, we have a lot invested in this country, especially Polish Americans, as well as ordinary American, not ordinary, but every American citizen. Did you know that the first Polish settlers here in the United States arrived in Jamestown, Virginia, back on October 1, 1608? So we've had 412 years of Polish American involvement in this country. They had the power and the spirit to come be explorers. And today I say, Polish Americans are all Americans. You have the spirit and you have the power to vote. Yes, vote for Donald J. Trump. 4 more years of prosperity, free enterprise, a thriving economy for all, and freedom, not socialism, not communism. What do you think about that, Diane?
I totally agree. I think about the greatest difference I see between the Harris-Biden ticket and President Trump is this. The Democrats want to overthrow America and change our fundamental values by force. Whereas President Trump, he wants to overthrow the DC swamp and deep state globalist and build upon our American fundamental values, traditions, and history, making way for a better America. How can that be wrong? Right there, he has the heart. He believes in this country. He's not a politician. He doesn't care about political agendas, etc. Trump cares about his agenda, which is the United States of America. We've never seen a president like this. Came close with President Reagan. But this man, and that's why I've supported him, that's why I have put everything else on hold to work these 4 years for him. It's of the utmost importance for our future generations. And I totally agree with what you just said. We have to get him reelected. 4 more years.
You are truly inspiring, Diane. Diane, I want to share something that Joe Biden said during the town hall meeting last week. He said that Polish people are not smart people, and that he and other Democrats stopped going to the Polish American Club because we were not smart, and also that Poland is a totalitarian government. I can't believe the guy. He has marbles in his head. That's why we all, no matter who you are, we all have to vote for Donald J. Trump for president. Now, I realize that 2020 has been a time of unprecedented challenges. Thankfully, we have a president with the toughness, with the energy and resolve to ensure that America's days, our best days, still lie ahead. If you are a veteran, vote Trump. Moms and dads, vote Trump. Diane, what about grandmas and grandpas?
Absolutely. Grandmas and grandpas, first responders, everybody should be out there. Boaters,
Yes,
artists. Let's keep going, because that's what you make a great point, Dr. Michelle, is that President Trump is for everyone. He's for the Black voter. He's for Hispanics. He's for Asians. This man is not the racist crazy that the media has made him out to be. And I've met him several times backstage before his rally, a week before the 2016 election. He came up, and of course, my boss, being the person that was running the state of Florida, said, "Don't talk to him. You're not allowed to talk to him. Secret Service won't let you." What does he do? He gets out and he comes right up to me, and I'm going to talk to him. So I did. And he's like, "Hey, St. Augustine," because we had just done a rally at the amphitheater there. And he said, "So what's the crowd look like?" And I said, "Super excited. They can't wait for you." And he said, "Do you think," and he had this question, he was like, "Do you think I'm going to win Florida?" And I said, "Yes, you're going to win Florida." And he's looking down. He really didn't think he was going to win Florida, much less win it all. And I said, "Mr. Trump, you're going to be our next president. You're going to win." And the smile on his face was, wow, really? So these people that think he's this egotistical SOB, they are so far, it's so far from the truth. What they should be afraid of are the faux Obama, Clinton, Biden buttheads that stand out there and try to appease and talk down to Americans. And it's all fake. They're actors. And President Trump is not. He calls it like it is. Could we reel him in sometimes? Sure, forget it. But that's part of his charm, right, Dr. Michelle? It makes
yeah,
him who he is.
you're absolutely correct on that, Diane. You know, I want to say that a vote to reelect President Trump is a vote for a safer, stronger, and more prosperous United States of America, for our neighborhoods, for our families. We want to be safe. We want to be certain that we have security in our own environment. That's why Polish people and all Americans, in my opinion, will vote for President Donald J. Trump. Diane, Polish Americans made a difference in the election in 2016. They can do it again in 2020. Diane, I'd like to read an email which I got from President Trump yesterday. It says the following: "Michelle, I debated Joe Biden for the final time. This debate will go down in history. I showed the American people what's at stake this election day. America's future will either be bright and continue on the path to greatness, or it will spiral down into socialism and decline at the hands of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. I want you to know that I will always fight to put America first, no matter what, and that I will never, ever stop working to make America great again. I love this country, and I love being your president. President Donald J. Trump." Diane, I want to thank you for being with us today.
Beautiful.
I'm going to say dziękuję to our Polish audience. We have many outstanding guests coming up. I think we're working on former governor of Wisconsin, Walker, to be on the program Friday. So please keep on listening. We'll share those future broadcasts with you on our program. Oh, and I forgot to mention, we have an email site for everybody who wants to send in questions or follow up. You may want to write a special note to Diane, which we'll pass on to her. Our email site, oh, and you also can register for 2 free tickets to the Texas Black Tie and Boots inaugural ball in Washington, D.C. 2 lucky winners listening to our broadcast will do that, but you've got to send it to the following website: And it's as follows. Mogul, spelled M-O-G-U-L. What does Mogul stand for? That is the Secret Service name of President Trump. So it's Mogul, M-O-G-U-L, at PolishAmericansForTrump.com. PolishAmericaForTrump.com. So that's Mogul at PolishAmericansForTrump.com. So, Mogul for Polish, Mogul at PolishAmericansForTrump.com. So, dziękuję to our Polish audience. Thank you very much, Diane, for being with us, and we hope that we can do another follow-up with you after the election to get your perspective of what happened. And to our audience and everybody else, dziękuję bardzo, do następnego razu. To the next time. See you later.
God bless.